Aloha, day 442 of the Worldwide Megacrisis Hungerstrike to save your life. I just got back on the hunger strike now. I finished my meal, my vegan meal, my gourmet vegan cooking show, Cooking with M, as you can see here. I just finished having some byang noodles. These were delicious. I made them. I gotta put this in the freezer because it's already starting to make me hungry. I finished cooking about 5 hours ago, stopped eating about 5 hours ago, and I had a nap because I was so full. I'm still full, but I'll be hungry within the next day or two. So I'm going to be heading to the hospital here to get checked out because I'm not fully recovered. My hand is still numb. It has been healing, but there's still nerve damage from the 65-day hunger strike 42 days ago. So I've recovered for 42 days. I've been eating like crazy. You guys know I love eating. This urgency of the hunger strike, and the reason why I'm doing this is because we're in a very severe timeline. We don't have a lot of time, okay? So I'm trying to galvanize the conversation. My friend, I want you to take an example of my friend, and I won't say his name yet, maybe in the future if he wants me to, but he did something really beautiful for me. And I'd like you to follow his example because it's true friendship and it's true spirit and it's humanizing, and it will help solve the superficial connections that we're making because he engages with substance and depth and consideration, okay? There are a lot of people that are trying to get me off this hunger strike, and I feel blessed that people care. There's a lot of people who are on the streets right now that have broken families that have forgotten about them. My family hasn't let go of me totally. They're trying to manipulate me off the hunger strike with my emotions, but they're not engaging the substance, and I want you to engage the substance, okay? You can't get me off of a hunger strike without wisdom and reasons, all right? I provide those for you. I've given them in the mega crisis here. We have a mega crisis of 6 existential threats, and there's good reason to believe that they're threats. And almost nobody tries to debate me on that now. Yet last year and the year before, people were making fun of me. Like mega crisis, global cultural decline, artificial intelligence, CRISPR genetic editing, World War III, climate change and mental health. You're delusional, Mark. Like, what are you talking about? You're just trying to scare people because you want to run things. And it's true. I do want the power to help people. I do want the power to go and solve poverty and to solve the AI displacement problem and to solve the climate crisis. I want to have the power to spread universal logic, and I need your voice, but I need your understanding first, okay? This is not a cult. It's a culture. And we teach anti-cult training right at the beginning. So the thing that you have to do is you have to know what you're getting yourself into. So we get you to memorize the core sentence of what we're trying to do. So you're not jumping in blindly. You're jumping in with an actual reason, and you can critique it. You can say, I don't like this, I don't like that. This is what you guys are doing, I don't like this. It gives you tools to empower yourself with critical thinking and not just indoctrination, okay? There's not many organizations that do that. Now, what my friend did that was really beautiful in this direction was he hired a professional strategist. And as a favor, he got that strategist to talk to me to try and convince me, to out-strategize me, to see if he could find a way to address these things that I call the PIS sentences. And PIS, P-I-S, stands for perpetually ignored sentences. People that are trying to accuse me of being manipulative with the hunger strike are themselves being a part of a narrative that is manipulating me off of the hunger strike. Mine is protected by charter rights because people are known to be backwards and hypocritical like that, that they're already a part of a political order. And very often they don't question it, right? That's called hegemony. There's a special word for that in sort of ivory tower, highfalutin academics. It's just, they call it common sense, but it's really unquestioned norms. Okay, so people who are trying to convince me off the hunger strike without addressing the PIS sentences, the actual reasons that I'm on the hunger strike, are just emotionally manipulating me. And they're using something called rhetoric, not reason. So these are sort of fancy words that mean I know what I'm talking about. But in the art of conversing and dialoguing, rhetoric just means a sort of power politics and manipulation, using fancy words, sort of like what I did there. But if you explain them and there's substance behind them, the reasoning gets through. So there's a good reason to know the distinction between rhetoric and reason itself, is because it makes the substance of the conversations better and less manipulative on emotions and more grounded in behavior change of the facts. And we have to have behavior change, okay? That's why I'm on this hunger strike. And it doesn't end until we make 5,600. Yeah, it's 5,600 and no, it's 5,423 blessings. And blessings, if you're not religious, it just means this new leadership program that's based on this core vision. You learn it. And every time you learn a principle that's self-empowering and actually solves the problems with reason, then it counts as a point towards me having a meal, okay? So if you're atheist or secularist, it works for you too. I based it on my courses on the philosophy of science, all right? But it's also spiritual. It's also divine, which is hard for people to comprehend. But universal logic, the thing that is the solution to all of this, is what I really want you to get to. Really question that. Okay, saying, oh, you're making people mad. Who do you think you are? Oh, you're a cult leader. All these types of things are just emotionally manipulating me. And I can see through that because you're not engaging the real reasons why I'm on the hunger strike, which is we have global cultural decline. We have artificial intelligence not just taking our jobs, but taking our lives. CRISPR genetic editing and bioweapons. World War III is brewing. The United States and China are marching towards war right now, with Iran being a proxy war. And we have global climate collapse. You know, we've hit 7 of 9 planetary boundaries. And we have a mental health crisis that is growing, with psychosis increasing itself, because as people realize how bad the problem is, the more the reality gets torn apart and distorted, where they're forced to question that hegemony, that common sense view of the world that is in fact fragmented and breaking our relationship with reality, and it's causing us to destroy ourselves and everybody with us, and animals, and the environment, everything. So you have to engage the reasons and the substance, and that's what this professional strategist tried to do. And we went toe to toe in a beautiful kind of way. I really like this guy. He's very good faith. He's not trying to knock me down. He's trying to help in a loving way. And, you know, in the beginning it was really good because I didn't have to teach him a lot of things. He actually knew a lot, and that's what made me have confidence in him, as I could recognize that he had done his homework. He's a real professional. So then after an hour though, he couldn't poke a hole in my strategy, and I was starting to poke holes in his. Actually, it didn't take an hour. I started poking holes like right away. But in the end, he got frustrated and did do a sort of emotional manipulation in a good faith way, right? Because he was trying to get on with the conversation, but he wasn't doing it in a way that actually was convincing. He strong-armed me. He said, okay, you know, Mark, I can't work with somebody who's not mentorable, who's not willing to listen. And I said, well, hold on now. I said, what makes you think I didn't listen? I addressed every single one of your arguments on the stasis, is what it's called, on the root issue. And I said, you're not doing that with me. So you're becoming the thing you don't like. And started having these weird hypocritical sort of arguments that he started to try and use to get me ungrounded so that I could get off the hunger strike just because he wanted me to. And that's not enough, because in the end, we're still being harmed by the mega crisis, which is the real threat to my life and all of our lives. I'm risking my life to save yours. I'm risking my life to save my life too. And all those we know and love. So getting off the hunger strike is not like a victory. It's like, okay, well, you get me off the hunger strike, but there's this huge cloud on the horizon that's not even on the horizon. It's right here. It's thunder striking us. Okay? Lightning is striking us, and we're hearing the thunder right above our heads. It's here now. That's why my hunger strikes are close to lethal. That's why I went 65 days last time, is I'm trying to wake up people. And I want to thank this wonderful man in Kenya for helping me. So my friend who hired the professional strategist did the right thing. It's just that the strategist didn't know his stuff enough to outpace my strategy. This really is a world-class strategy. I've been studying for 75,000 hours over 20 years, not in a peripheral way, like, oh, I did it, you know, as a fun hobby, or it happened as an accident, as a byproduct of me going to work, or no, I intentionally made a commitment decades ago to live my life in a specific way every moment. And I followed through with that here. At this point in my life, I'm very proud of the fact that I didn't succumb to all the pressures to get on the dead hamster wheel. Okay, and I want to set that example for you. If you engage with me in a substantial way, I will answer your questions. And we're creating an FAQ and some things that have really good questions now coming in. People are really engaging with me on the substance because they can't ignore the piss sentences anymore. They're perpetually ignored sentences. Because they can say, okay, the first sentence is, what can you do to show me that the mega crisis, those 6 existential threats, is not real and not urgent like the experts say they are. I base my data on experts. That's why if you try and unpin me, like unground me, you have to engage with cutting edge research. Oh, the Chinese meal is coming up. I had smashed cucumber salad. If you know me, I love cucumbers. It was the perfect way to end this recovery period. Oh, anyway, you have to engage the first sentence. And if you can't show me that the mega crisis is not real, that means you're engaging with the idea that you're agreeing with me. It's real, and we have a common ground there. All right, and that's a kind of scary thing because now we're in it together. Now the second sentence is, if you can't do the first one, I give you a second chance to address this and get me up the hunger strike, or get you onto a hunger strike in a safe way. If you're under 18, don't join, you're too young. If you're over 67 or 70 and you're not in good health, you should also not engage. This is for the working class and the adults and those that are mature and want to help guide our species. We're running industries, we're engineers, we're doctors, we're lawyers, we're in the working age of our lives. Okay, we're the role models. Between 18 and 67, I wouldn't say, 18 is a little bit young to be a role model, but you can still be wise on the inside. Biology doesn't dictate that, not always. So the second sentence is, if you can show me a better strategy that does not require hunger strikes and can meet the timelines we have left, then I'll also go on off the hunger strikes and follow your strategy. And that's what that professional strategist tried to do. It's just that his strategy was naive compared to mine. I am facing reality, not with a lack of concern and fear, but with courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear and concern. It's facing it with a higher vision of what we truly want this world to be, with the people we know and love. Okay? And not just people, the animals, the environment, the energies. Okay? If you can't do those 2 sentences, you're wasting time. You can't manipulate me. I'm too aware. I've done too much anti-cult training. I know when somebody's trying to be a charismatic cult leader towards me and trying to manipulate me. And that strategist skirted the edge, because that's what cult leaders do, is they try and strong arm you. I ask you to memorize the core before you get in, so we can actually have a high level conversation on the substance. All right? I want to ask you to do that. If you're engaging with my posts right now, try and do that. There's another post with 600 comments with people doing the opposite. They're totally just trolling. So don't do that either. It won't work. I love people too much, and you're worth it. You're sacred. I've proven it in the proof of truth. So in this post, you're probably watching this on Facebook. I'm going to try and put some of these documents to help you engage with substance, and a new website link about the hunger strike that explains the 6 demands that I'm asking for on this hunger strike, so you know how to help. And you can critique it if you don't agree with it, okay? And then at that point, let the best strategy win, the most loving one. All right? Follow my friend's example. All right, so last thing here is, if you are gonna follow me, if you finally become convinced that this is not as crazy as it looks. I look a little bit disheveled because I'm in the poverty trap. I had to pay that price. I had to cut my hair too. I got a rat's nest because of this toque that I wore, right? It was on my head for so long that it caused a rat's nest from moving up and down. And I thought, oh, I'll just leave it. And it spiraled out of control. It just started sucking up all my hair and pulling and all this stuff. I had to cut it. And it doesn't look terrible. Like it looks bad. But from the front, it kind of looks like I still have hair. But in the back, there's a big patch missing. And the homeless go through this all the time. So the system is what dictates your experience. And we need to make a better system aligned with this universal logic as a global wise governance model. It works for artists, it works for the religious, it works for the philosophical, and it works for the atheistic scientists. And it's based on pure wisdom, not just experiential wisdom, which approximates it, but is the definition so you can think it for yourself. Okay, that's my gift to you, is this solution is learnable by you if you come with real good faith substance. Okay, we're 15 minutes in. I'll put the link in the description of this post or wherever you're finding this, and I'd like you to join me. I'm going to put a safety sheet too to hunger striking, so that if you do become inspired, you realize this is the real deal, this is the real movement, then you can join me on the hunger strikes, but not in a foolish way. It has to be wise as possible. And there's certain criterion you can do to make sure that you're fit enough, you're in the right age range, all of these types of things. And if you are young or a little bit older and you can't do a hunger strike, there's other things that you can do. And maybe I'll post those too. But right now I'm going to go to the hospital, make sure that I'm doing this wisely, making sure that my heart is recovering, because a lot of people don't know that your heart eats itself, or your body eats your heart. So after 65 days, 1/3 of my heart, the walls were thinned by 1/3. So that's pretty shocking. Most of the time, I might have got off lucky. So I'm going to go and check and just make sure I'm not going to drop off within in the first week. I don't think I'll make it 60 days again. I'll probably make it, maybe a month or 40 days, 50 days, but it'll start to really cause permanent nerve damage because my nerves aren't fully healed. So I'll probably recover for a couple more days on the food that I've eaten, and hopefully my hand can heal up. But then it's going to be going down again. And I'm asking you, there's a rational reason to doing this, and a loving reason, is we have to get our butts in gear and start building trust and real substantial conversations on the facts of our reality. Because reality collapse is happening, you guys. I don't think I have to talk about the facts anymore. Maybe I'll put a fact sheet, because I think by this point people realize that they're losing their jobs, and if they haven't lost them yet, it's coming. It's not slowing down. And if you want to come and give me a nice haircut or something and help me with my material circumstances, you're welcome to do that too. But we really need to get 6 people each, teach them this core, have substantial anti-cult discussions on substance, and then decide on a strategy together that is realistic. It's a realistic moonshot that we need, no matter which way you look at it. Nobody in the professional world has a solution to any one of those 6 mega crises, okay? Not even to one. And there's 6 of them, all compounding on each other. That means they're not linearly getting worse, they're compounding. All right? We're in the twilight zone already of being able to address these things. We're hitting tipping points of no return. And we need wisdom to solve that. So, okay, hopefully that gives you a sense of reality here, of my reality, what I'm trying to do. And also that I'm aware of what my appearance looks like. A lot of people think that, oh, I don't understand, I'm so delusional, I don't understand that I have beard dreads and that my hair is all over the place. And I've been wearing the same shirt for a couple weeks, and that I'm in a basement, and I have a bed in here. I know that this sign is really small and in a weird place in the corner. I know all these things. But people with real mental illness don't have a sense of reality. They actually lack that insight, that metacognition. But I don't lack it. This is a strategic decision to try and deal with a non-ideal circumstance, that we have to move quickly in a dead and dying and fragmenting system that's making it harder for us every day that goes by. This is the easiest that you can join the movement now, or engage with substance, okay? So I'm aware this is a necessity unless you can show otherwise with the PIS sentences. Last point here is I want to upgrade the PIS sentences. Instead of PIS, perpetually ignored sentences, with the manipulators that are trying to manipulate me, right? They're ignoring those sentences. That's why I named them that way. I want to spell it PISS, PIS sentence, for perpetually ignored salt sentence, because there was a Sumerian civilization in Mesopotamia thousands of years ago that collapsed because all their fancy drainage systems were sifting out salt in the water table and causing salt to build up in the soil and killing the plants more and more each year, until eventually people started starving. And so doing more of the same technologies that we have in the same logic is actually killing us. So there is no real solution with the path that we're going. We need a different logic, and it's going to transform the way we do things. Okay, so if you keep ignoring those sentences, we're going to end up in this salty situation, and it's not going to be a good time. So it's a real PIS sentence now, PISS. It is not going to be a future that we hoped and dreamed of for ourselves and for our children and for our nieces and nephews and those that we love, and our parents and our grandparents. So when I make a joke. Don't don't fool around, okay? Really engage. I'm treating you seriously and with respect, and hopefully we can have a beautiful conversation that solves the situation we're in. Okay. Don't PISS me off, okay? I'm trying to make this like kid friendly, but don't ignore those sentences, and I won't ignore you. I'm not going to ignore you anyway. I took the vow on abandonment, and I'm doing that on this hunger strike right now. I'll give you more updates. I might even start streaming on Facebook, because these are the serious hunger strikes that are lethal if we don't get our spirit together. So work with me, treat me like a human, treat me like my old self. I'm still the same person. I just have a beard and some scraggly hair because I'm living off of donations right now and your kindness and your understanding. Okay? All right. Stay blessed. And if you're not religious, stay sublative. Actually, sublative is also religious. It's all of them. Stay rational and loving. And we'll see you when I get back from the hospital. Okay? See you in the comments too. Peace.